Hi, it's me again with CorelDraw Tips and Tricks. Somebody sent me this graphic of a cowboy riding a horse, and it's ironic that this is a logo to a high school that I went to many, many years ago, and they can't get rid of the white, because if they get rid of the white, they get rid of the black. What this is, it's a black item with white spots in front of it, and they want to engrave it, and they also want to fix like this part and the part of the leg so it will connect. You cannot, in this case, you cannot use find and replace because it doesn't really do you any good. So we're going to select some white and we're going to go from selection and find all, and then if we hit delete, there's our problem. And evidently there's some white there also that's not even that same color. So what to do in this case is to manually do it. So I'm going to left click, no fill, right click outline. Now, this thing is, well, my yellow box is almost 20, so I've set my nudge factor on 20. And I am going to take the Smart Fill tool. Well, you know what I'm also going to do? I'm going to group this together. It'll help me later. I'm going to take the Smart Fill tool, set on black, and I'm going to fill that in. Voila, it almost got all of it. I'm going to go ahead and leave that there so I can see it, because then we can remove. And maybe my suggestion on the R would be able to just to leave it like it is, but just use the outline. And, you know, there's a lot you could do with this. And instead of having just a solid R, we're just going to have the outline of the R. I think that looks pretty good. And she stated that she wants it rough like it is. Now what we could do is to move the lines out of course, you could always take this and take away the line, but to me, it's safer if we will nudge the color out of the way and then grab the line and delete it. And because we grouped it all, it's all done. Now, in this case, the boundary, they also want to put a border around it and kind of make like a cake topper for it. I think they've got a reunion coming up. A couple of years younger than me. Anyway, to do a border on this, you can see that the leg and I guess it's part of his nose. So we just need to fix that. So what we're going to do, we're going to take our horse again. And I just saw another place that we should maybe fill it in with black. And we're going to, if your shape tool does not work, you have it grouped together. So we're just going to take this, and because she said it's okay to be rough, let's just leave it rough. And I'm just going to make a spot for the well to go through. Now we'll go down here to the horse's leg, grab the shape tool and put it up here, virtual segment delete key. Now we're going to have to go over that same process again. So we want to make sure this is grouped again. So we're going to Control G. Now we're going to zoom in a little bit, and we're going to take the Smart Fill tool and fill that in with black, fill that in with black, 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 black. Whoop, missed it, went overboard there. I'm actually going to have to zoom in. And this is one advantage of not moving the things out of the way. Normally I take the Smart Fill and I will move them out of the way. But in this case, you wouldn't be able to see what you have left when you could keep going back and forth. I think we got them all. And now the boundary tool will work on us, so we can use the Smart Fill tool. And one more two more. And they're going to cut this out, so we want to make sure we don't, so I've nudged that out of the way and I've deleted that, and then I can nudge this back. Now, the boundary tool will come up, and now we have a boundary. We don't have any, there's no center parts, but they want to put a little outline on this. So I'm going to go ahead and group this together, Control G. I'm going to take this horse. I'm going to go to Effects and Contour. I'm going to say 0.1 to the outside. That's almost perfect. When you do something like this, you've got to think about that's going to cut. So what we could do, it's going to be real close. So let's go 0.15. And see, now those are touching. Let's make sure we do it around the corners. There we go. Looks a little better. Now, my suggestion would be able to go up to Object and break the contour apart and take the center one. And see, then this is where we can remove stuff. So we can either take the virtual segment delete key and delete that. And I'd go and delete that. You just want a solid border. Now they mentioned a cake topper type effect, and they want to cut this out of plywood. So I'm going to say if you make a board, maybe not that big, and even you could round the corners like maybe even 2 inches. And when you're rounding corners, you can't really go too far. I am going to group this together for a second, even with the cut line, Control G, and hit P, and then hit P, and that should be about the center. And now I'm going to change my nudge factor to 0.5, like a ½ an inch. I know the plywood is going to be 1/8 inch plywood, so I'm going to make a stick that I would suggest with your ratio unlocked, make your stick 0.5 by the size doesn't really matter right now, and then kind of put it in the center of the horse. Now, when doing this, I would ungroup it for a second, and I would move my horse out of the way. Whoop. Change your nudge factor back to 20. And that way you can take this with the virtual segment delete key and actually take the Smart Fill tool, and you can weld it. Don't worry about the base right now. We're going to take the Smart Fill tool and fill that in. Move it over, left click, right click, and there's our stick, and you can adjust the stick. Now, my suggestion to put it in the center would be to hit P and put that in the center. Take a slot and make it 0.5 with the ratio unlocked by 0.125, which is 1/8 inch plywood, and hit P. That should fit down in that slot, kind of like a cake topper. The only question I'd have is if it's going to be outside, whether it's going to blow over. You might want to do more of a square, but I'm going to let them pick that, or let them decide on that. Anyway, I hope that helped them a little bit. Thank you for watching.